This is a fantastic eerie tale. With equipment failing, the captain suspects the signal tower hides a giant black cat. Therefore, he decides to send someone to repair the lighthouse, thinking to himself, truly loving my ship means allowing her to enjoy the moments of flirtation and romance. He then promptly bends down to inquire with the workers about what has transpired. But the workers seemed to be under a spell of silence. Nobody responded. He could only mutter to himself, what a bunch of loyal shipmates. At this point, Buzz gets a bit scared in the thick fog, but to escape this place, he bravely decides to keep climbing, only to look up and see. Luckily, it's just a sleepy seagull lost in the fog. Shortly after, the foreman finally huffs and puffs his way up. Helpless, he has to follow the foreman up, completely unaware the signal tower is the start of their nightmare. At the top, they check and find the tower is actually fine, so they decide to head back to the platform, but just as they leave, Buzz accidentally drops the detector. When he bends down to pick it up, he spots a dead seabird next to him. Meanwhile, the captain and his old buddy Hutton are anxiously waiting for them to come down, when suddenly they hear an eerie sound from above, and the captain hits the panic button. Click! Save Buzz. But the foreman is also freaked out. They both had safety lines secured. Why did Buzz clip mysteriously detach? Meanwhile, an employee named Ross rushes over to tell the captain, even though we've shut down the drilling pipe, the one sending oil to shore doesn't seem too stressed. The curious thing now is that our monitoring instruments are indicating that all drilling operations have come to a complete halt. The doctor promptly examines Buzz and subsequently discovers that, despite the critical condition, there is still a faint glimmer of life remaining within him. But because of serious injuries, he needs immediate surgery. But the ship lacks facilities for that, so they can only hope there's up to some sailing. Whether he survives is up to fate. Dr. Kate knows she can save Buzz, but feels guilty over her limitations and steps outside for some air. But the moment she steps into the corridor, she perceives the lights behaving strangely. The old man standing right in front of her is named Hutton, who happens to be Buzz's own uncle. Seeing his nephew in a tight spot, he panics and decides to threaten Kate, unaware his reckless behavior might doom everyone. Meanwhile, after everyone leaves, Buzz miraculously wakes up, his eyes glinting with strange lights. Hutton confronts the captain, claiming how irresponsible it is to let his nephew fix equipment on the tower. This is blatant disregard for employee safety. He threatens the captain to call a helicopter, but common sense tells them they can't contact anyone when missing. The captain finally yells at Hutton. After harshly rebuking Hutton, he leaves the office with determination. Unbeknownst to him, Hutton unexpectedly discovers a crucial secret document on the ship and thinks to himself, now, this is my chance for redemption. Suddenly, everyone is summoned to the helipad by Hutton, who plans to reveal a huge secret the captain has been hiding, secretly thinking, guess what, no work for anyone today. Actually, all the staff could go home today, but the management told a whopper of a lie. Just as Hutton is about to continue, the captain arrives, seeing himself as the authority who believes Hutton has seriously breached this. Stop crossing the line right now. The captain commands with authority. Meanwhile, an agitated Hutton continues to rant, blaming the company and the captain for their inaction, making everyone's safety seem like a joke. You're setting yourself on fire. The captain helplessly attempts to snatch the document from Hutton, ultimately forced to confess everything to the crowd. It turns out the company was already ready to abandon them, shutting down the entire drilling operation, but didn't want the employees to know in advance. The plan was to notify them after they went home, but who would have thought this bizarre incident would occur? Just as he had finished comforting the staff, unexpectedly, ashes started to shower down from the sky, as a colossal barbecue grill was cooking a feast directly above their heads. Meanwhile, Buzz, who was just injured, wobbles back to the platform, leaving everyone scratching their heads at what he says. For the sake of his safety, they insist on assisting Buzz back. Although Buzz endeavors to comfort the employees, it seems that nobody understands what he truly means. However, a tech named Ross actually understands him. While taking Buzz back to the medical room, he asks what Buzz meant. I remember nothing, Buzz replies, just noise in my head, the waves calling, and that thing. That thing continues to insist that we must hasten and not pause. I have this sensation that someone is closely watching us from behind. Where is he? Ross asks nervously, what's actually back there? Why is it located there? Buzz exclaims in a state of panic. Dr. Kate feels uneasy, asking Ross, are we in danger? Ross replies confidently, relax. We can handle the biggest waves here. This is higher than all recorded wave heights. Kate finally feels relieved, but things aren't that simple as the dark fog is mixed with ashes. Everyone hides inside, afraid to come out. To prevent Hudson from causing more trouble, the captain has him locked up, and Buzz settles down for. However, just after Ross and the others leave, Buzz wakes up to find that his severed arm is actually healing. Meanwhile, the crew is anxious about their impending layoff. One crew member spots the backup boat that hasn't responded, sending Morse code signals. To decipher the boat's message, the captain sends Lex out to record signals in real time. Soon, Lex arrives at the helipad, watching the backup boat signals, jotting down everything with a marker. Little does he know that death is right beside him. When Lex decodes the boat's distress signal, he discovers the backup boat is in trouble, prompting the captain to turn on the response lights. Meanwhile, newly awakened Buzz looks like a panda, surprised to see his arm's wound healing slowly. If you look closely, you can even see the skin wrinkling as it heals. Buzz, in shock, uses a tray as a mirror and sees his face is blemish-free, just a bruise left. Before he can process it, his body convulses and his mind is flooded with images of waves crashing on the platform, scaring him backpedaling. Just returning from monitoring the lights, Lex decides to take a shower, but when his skin touches the water, it erupts, spewing black liquid. Turning around, he finds his beloved tattoos peeling off and his palms begin to bleed for no reason, but he can't find any cuts.